Welcome to episode 2 of Rebuilding Barcelona. And in last week's episode, we won the Liga and we won the Champions League with basically the squad we inherited at the start of the game. And this season, we need to sell players. We need to get a few players to come in as well. And we need to also continue to try and repair the finances. Last time we left it, we were like £178 million in the red on our bank balance. And our overall net debt was something like £650 million. So this is going to be fun. Welcome to the video, folks. And we start on the finances screen because that's kind of the most important part at the minute. And as you can see, our net debt was 650 million at the start of last season. Original debt 656 million. We have now got it down to 362 million with a transfer debt of 75.6 million. So we're heading in the right direction. There's no doubt about that. Overall, the original debt was 1.19 billion. I mean, that is just ludicrous. It really is. Anyway, if we look at the summary, we do have 175 million pound in the bank balance, although that will start to go down. It already is in actual fact, because during pre-season, around the start of pre-season, our overall balance was like 225 million, so it's already gone down by 50 million. So I would imagine that is going to be well into the red by the end of the season. We do have a transfer budget remaining of 20.7 million. We are at the end of the summer transfer window, and I'll bring you up to speed on the ins and outs, and there have been some ins and outs as well. Our wage budget, we're £400,000 a week under our wage budget, so we've reduced that nicely and significantly. And yeah, I mean, like, their profit and loss this month, 23.7 million, and it is the end of August. So if we're going to be losing £23 million a month, I mean, 10 months alone, that's 230 million. So that is going to be probably around £60 million in the red by the end of the season. In terms of transfers, I'll bring you up to speed on that right now, and we'll go back to what happened at the end of now. All of last season's transfers, the ins and the outs, have been wiped from the game for some reason. Don't know why, they just have. So what we're basically left with is the business that I have done. And as you can see, before it rolled over to the new season, I didn't bring anybody in. But players have left. Robert Lewandowski going to Al Ittihad for 8.75, rising to 9.75. You already knew about that, happened in January. We have been paid the extra 1 million as well. So we have received the full 9.75 million. Since then, we had Ronald Araujo has gone to Liverpool for £80 million. And it was 80 million up front as well. Liverpool, by the way, I'm not particularly happy with them, because if we have a look at their transfers, they got a player that I wanted, and he would have been very nice to have had. If we look at future transfers, Sphere House of Naipan for 7.75 million. We did put in a bid of, I think it was about 8.5 million. Ours was accepted. He didn't want to come to us. He wanted Liverpool. He went to Liverpool. For those of you that have played Football Manager this season, even last season, I think, would already be aware of Naipan. He's not exactly a secret in the game. I've had him previously on FM24, and he was phenomenal. So I really wanted to try and bring him in to see if we could build him up over the course of the remaining 4 seasons of this save. But yeah, Liverpool picking him up. So Liverpool are now my public enemy number 1, outside of Real Madrid, of course. Then Estanis Pedrola, that was already a pre-arranged transfer. He's gone to Sampdoria for 2.6 million. He was one of our youngsters, 21-year-old winger. Would be a good signing for the future. To be fair to him, he has got 3 to 4 star potential. He's 2-star now. I actually wouldn't have minded keeping him around. He's got a value of up to 18 million. I would think I would have got a bit more than 2.6 million for him, but there you go. Chadi Riyad has gone to AS Monaco on a free transfer. Ilkay Gundogan has gone to Al Ali in Saudi Arabia for 25 million, potentially rising to 30 million. Nico Takahashi has gone to Oita in the J League on a free transfer, and Frenkie de Jong has gone to PSG for 60 million, rising to 78 million. Now, at this point, bearing in mind, we've bought in, take off 10 million there, we've bought in 166 million pound into the club, and we were only getting 25% of that. So get your calculators out. Whatever 25% of 166 million is, that's what we got as a transfer budget. And I was getting a bit fed up, so I went to the board and I asked them to make more money from transfer revenue available. They upped it from 25% to 40%. Still not great, but at least it is a little bit more. And I think while the bank balance is doing well, I think I'm actually going to go and ask them to make even more money available again, although it's not giving me the option to do so yet. So I might have to leave that a little bit longer. But anyway, getting back to the transfers, because that's just what happened before the season rolled over. So Araujo, who I was really gutted to lose because he is a top quality centre-back. So Araujo, Gundogan and De Jong all gone from the team. We move over to this part of the season. Not big ones from here. Arnold Brugge has gone to PSG for 1.3 million, and Clement Longley, who was at Aston Villa on loan last season, has gone to FC Porto for 10 million, rising to 12.25 million. There was an intermediary fee of 1 million paid in that as well. Then we get to the players we signed. So the big one is Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa. Basically, I wanted to bolster our midfield because by losing Gundogan and De Jong, we've lost two top quality players from our midfield. So this was the priority, was the defensive midfield, ball-winning midfielder role. So we brought in Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa, like I say, for 47 million, rising to whatever it is, rising to 65 million. And yeah, he just looks very good. His attribute-wise, for his technicals, his first touch is 16, his pass is 16, his tackling is 16, his technique is 15. He's got defensive midfielder written all over him. He does prefer to do a box-to-box midfield role, and we may use him in that position at some point during the season. But for now, he's going to be in here as our ball-winning midfielder on defend. Anticipation 16, determination 17, flair 16, off the ball 16, strength 16, balance 18. His physicals are really, really good. And I think he's going to be a terrific player for us. When I first saw him, I kept thinking, I'm sure I've seen him before in the Premier League, and I don't think he was particularly good then. I looked at his profile, and as you see, he's played for Fulham back in 2018-19. He signed for £24 million, made 22 appearances, then went out on loan to Villarreal, then made 36 appearances for Fulham the following season before being sold or sent on loan to Napoli just after the start of the following season, after they got relegated into the Championship. He then got bought for 15 million by Napoli after a successful loan time, spent another couple of seasons with them before we've now bought him for 47 million. So yeah, I'm really happy with him. I think he's going to be a top quality player. Frederick Ursnes from Benfica. Again, you look at his physicals. His physicals look insane. 20 for natural fitness, 16 for stamina, 16 for balance. The rest of them's all pretty decent. He's got some really good mental, 16 for concentration, 16 for decisions, 17 teamwork, and 16 work rate. His technicals are okay. They're not great, but they are okay. But his physicals, his mentals are his standouts, without a doubt. He can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch, except central defence and up top, and goalkeeper as well. Although he does have a goalkeeper rating of 3, which is quite high for an outfield player. But yeah, he's come in. He'll cover for the box-to-box midfielder role and the advanced playmaker. He can also cover the ball-winning midfielder role here. So if we wanted to play him here and Anguissa in the box-to-box role, if we've got an injury to either Gavi or Pedri, then that is an option that we have. So it's just giving us some good solid options for the players that we've sold. Then we brought in Valentin Carboni. The only striker we've got at the moment is Vitor Roque. And I didn't want to play him for the first part of the season while the transfer window was still going on, simply because we've got to pay £4.5 million on his next league appearance, and I didn't want to lose money from a transfer budget when it's so small and precious unless the window is closed. So now that the window's closed, I can play him again. But Carboni's come in. He's actually got 3 goals in 3 games in the league at 7.50 and 1 goal from 1 appearance in the Super Cup at 7.40 as well. And he's a wonder kid, 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. He's got some really decent physicals. His mentals are looking good as well. Off the ball and determination, both 16. He's got 16 for technique. He's 15 for finishing, 13 for crossing, 15 for dribbling. He can play out on the right, probably could do a job on the left as well. But we are training him as an advanced forward. We're playing him as an advanced forward. So yeah, Valentin Carboni comes in for 20 million. Outside of that, if we actually have a look at the squad and filter it by position, we're kind of going with youth quite a bit. So if you well, actually we do it by age, that'd be the easiest way to do that. Obviously, Lamine Yamal, we've got Pau Kabasi. He's the reason why I've not gone to buy another central defender and why I'm happy for Longley to go, because I want to bring him into the team and get him some experience. He's only 1.5 star current ability, but does have 3.5 to 4.5 star potential. And if we look at his attributes, ignore the arrows going down, but his physicals are decent, his mentals are decent, not bad technicals, obviously does need improving, but at 17 years of age, he could be a really, really good player for us. He does have two negatives. What's the matter with him? Starting to feel he deserves a new contract and has no strong feelings about me. Well, you haven't got to have strong feelings about me, you just got to play for me. So, yeah, Kabasi is one of them. Then Hector Fort, he's been starting for us at right back. He's got 5-star potential, 2-star current ability. His arrows are going in all the right way. You can pay attention to the arrows now because they're going in the way I want them to. He's got, again, decent physicals. He's got some decent mentals. His technicals need work, but he can play anywhere across the back three. But he is playing as the right back for us right now, basically this season. So yeah, there's him. Obviously, Carboni we brought in. Vita Roque we already got. So all of those are all teenagers. Then we've got Gavi, Mika Faye, who he's here because he can play on the left. Balde does play on the left. Firmin can obviously play in central midfield, plus anywhere across the attacking midfield areas as well. Can even do a job up top if we really, really get stuck. Pablo Tor is another one we've been playing in pre-season. He's had some pre-season appearances for us, can play in the central midfield there as an advanced playmaker. We are training him in that position on attack, which is what we have. 16 for passing, 16 for technique, 16 for vision, 16 for flair. He's got some really key attributes about him that we need. And 21 years old, I want to try and make the most of this youth system that we've got. Ansu Fati is obviously back with us and looks a really decent player. He can play right, left or up top, so he's going to get plenty of game time this season. Eric Garcia, he's here as a centre-back. We did transfer list him, but no one is interested in him. Sergino Dest has come back from loan, and he plays left and right full-back, wing-back positions, so we've got him as a squad option. And then, we go to the dev centre. If we go to the B team, I think it is. So Pal Prim is someone that we've played in pre-season as well. He's got a value of up to £11.5 million. 18 years of age, and he wants to play in this role here, and he can do the anchor role. He prefers to be a deep line playmaker, but he's being trained as an anchor and can play as an anchor. He's got 4.5-star potential, so hopefully we'll see more of him this season as well. If we then go to the under-19s, Noah Darvic has played for us in pre-season as well. As you see here, he's had 6 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist at 7.05. And again, he can play here in the advanced playmaker role. He could probably even do a box-to-box as well. He can play out wide, left or right, and he's got 4.5-star potential as well, currently 2 stars, a valuation of up to 30-odd million. Souleymane Diop is a right winger. He's fairly decent. Pablo Tor we've already seen. And then Genar Villajoana, no idea. He's not probably ever going to amount to anything, but he's had some game time for us in pre-season. 3 starts, 1 sub-appearance, 1 goal at 6.82. Again, let's just see what we can do with him. He's got some potential. We want to see what he's made of. And it's very much unlike me to go with players from the youth system. But considering the talent we've got in this youth system, it kind of seems like a good idea to do that. So I thought rather than bringing in a player that is 2.5-star current and potential ability, he's not going to get any better. He's 28, 29, 30 years old. Why not just use Pablo Tor, that's 2 stars already, with the potential to be 3 or 4 stars, and it's homegrown as well, so it helps out with the whole European side of things. What I will show you as well while we're on this screen is the registration thing. As we came across, the maximum squad salary was 2.7 million last season. It's now risen. It's 2.9 million. We're down to £2.28 million per week for the entire squad. So we've reduced that, because if you remember last season, we were having problems with registering players because of how much they were earning. We then sold Lewandowski, and then obviously with the sales of the likes of Gundogan and Araujo and Frenkie de Jong, that's reduced that dramatically. So yeah, all is looking very good in that front. If we have a look at the schedule, pre-season has been pre-season. 2-1 win against Girona B team, a 0-0 draw against Villarreal, then against Baleares, which this was actually a really weak team that we played in this game. We played pretty much a youth team with the exception of one or two. So Ter Stegen was in there and Rafinha was in there, Ferran Torres as well. But other than that, Mikhail, Lenglet, Kubasi and Roberto in the defence. I know Roberto and Lenglet are not youth, but you get what I mean. They're the B team basically. Pau Prim, Pablo Tor and Darvic in the midfield with Rafinha and Ferran out wide and Villajoana up top. Villajoana getting the first goal, Rafinha with the assist. Tor getting 2 goals in this game, Darvic assisting one of them and Pau Prim assisting Ferran Torres' goal as well. A nice 4-0 win that was. Then against Burgos we won 5-3. Then Leganes we won 2-0. Since then, the way the season has started, we started off with Levante at home, a 5-0 win. Rafinha with 2 goals in that game, one of them being a penalty. Gavi getting on the score sheet and Valentin Carboni, a new striker, a new wonder kid, with 2 goals in 4 minutes in the second half to wrap that up. We then played AC Milan in the UEFA Super Cup. We've won our first trophy of the season. Pedri, Carboni and another Rafinha penalty. There was 58,500 people in whatever stadium this is. Whereabouts is this? Poland. There you go. That's where that took place. Then Vallecano up next. We beat them 3-1. Goals from Rafinha with another penalty and 2 from Ferran Torres. Lamine Yamal did come in for this game. He missed the previous 2 games in terms of starts anyway because of being on Olympics duty. And we had a few players that were away on the Olympics, him and Vitor Roque being among them. And yeah, he picked up a little injury in there on his first start. But then we played Gijon next, a 5-0 win in this one. And yeah, we just looked really good. Carbone with another goal, Rafinha with a hat-trick, 2 of which were penalties. We're getting a lot of penalties. Andre Frank, Zambo Anguissa, I'm just going to call him Anguissa, with a goal as well. His first goal for us. We were just very good. Hector Fort, if you look at that, 8.4, and you must have got an assist in this game, Hector Fort. Yeah, he did. He got an assist for Carbone, his first goal. But just all round, he had a great game. But obviously, Rafinha getting 3 goals and assists was always going to get the man of the match. So, yeah, it's been a tremendous start to the season. If we have a look at the La Liga table, Real Madrid are top. They've played a game more than us. We've got 3 games played, 3 wins, full 9 points. And if we look at it in full, only 1 goal conceded from their 3 games as well. Real Madrid have not conceded a single goal in their first 4 games. They are doing very well. And if we look down here as well at Cadiz, 3 games played. Hang on a minute. How have they lost the game and not... Oh, no, it's goal difference I'm looking at. Sorry. I'm looking at that thinking that was no goals conceded. I'm like, if they've lost the game, how have they not conceded? But, yeah, ignore that. But, yeah, us and Real Madrid will be fighting it out, no doubt. And we'll see how that goes on throughout the course of the season. In terms of the season preview, we're expected to finish 2nd, Real Madrid 1st, Atletico Madrid 3rd. That's basically all the teams you have in Spain. The rest of them just are there to make up the numbers, really. And don't hate me if you support Valencia or Villarreal or Bilbao or whoever else in that league. But yeah, we'll go back to the schedule. We will filter... Oh, no, I wanted that. We'll filter the Champions League games as well because it's obviously the new format now. And we start off against PAOK away from home. Then we've got a home game against Feyenoord, who we put out in the quarter-final stage last season. Then we've got Bayern Munich, who we put out in the semi-final stage. Then we've got Sporting. Then we've got Inter, Borussia Dortmund, Galatasaray, who... Did they beat us in the group stage last season? No, they didn't. I think I'm getting my saves confused. And then we've got Salzburg. So, PAOK, Feyenoord, Galatasaray, Salzburg, I would definitely expect to win those. I mean, to be honest, I'm Barcelona. I'd expect... I've still got the mentality of being a Sampdoria or a Kaiserslautern or a Monaco. And I'm like, oh, you know, we could struggle against... But we're Barcelona. We'll probably win the lot. And we'll probably win the Champions League as well. I'm really not that confident. As much as I may imply that I am, I'm really not. Because Our team isn't quite as good as it was last season. We have lost some players and we've not really replaced them. This is kind of what my best 11 looks like at the moment. You might say Carboni up top instead of Vitor Roque, but ter Stegen, Balde, Fort, Christensen, Koundé, Anguissa, Gavi, Pedri, Rafinha, Yamal and Vitor Roque. I'm really excited to see how Yamal comes on as well. He's already 3 stars with 5-star potential, a valuation of up to 103 million. I just want to see what this boy can do, because last season he was special. 11 goals, 11 assists in 27 league games at 7.49. Let's see what he can do this season as well. Right, I think that's probably most of what I need to show. Just show you dynamics. Team cohesion is good. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is good as well. If we have a look at the hierarchy, no one opposes me. 4 people support me. The rest of them have no opinion of me. That's fine. I don't really care, to be honest. I'll do a little bit. But anyway. And yeah, the club vision, basically, from the board's perspective, is challenge for the Champions League, win the Super Cup, tick, we've done that, win the First Division, La Liga, challenge for the Spanish Cup, and be competitive in the Super Cup. We play Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Super Cup, by the way. They're delighted that we're playing attacking football, delighted we're playing possession football, and pleased that we're playing entertaining football. Work within the wage budget, we're on course for that as well. So everything is looking really rather rosy, and it's all going in the right direction. Right, I'll see you in part 2 to see if we're top of La Liga and how we've done in the Champions League as well. And it will also be the end of the January transfer window. I'll see you over there for that. Okay, welcome to part 2. And we'll start on the finance screen because this will lead us into the transfer side of it. So as you can see with the overall balance, we're minus 38.3 million. I'm quite surprised it's gone down to that at the moment, because the last time I looked, which was probably only a couple of months ago in game, we was about 70 million in credit. So that's gone down very quickly. But because of how well we've been doing financially, the club has decided to offer us things, and I've gratefully accepted them. So our wage budget, for example, which was 3.2 million, is now 3.5 million. Good job it has gone up, because we're now spending 3.2 million. I think we were still under the original wage budget, but yeah, we've offered new contracts to certain players, and it's meant we're now, and plus we have bought some players as well, so it's 3.2 million. Transfer budget, I'm going to put a screenshot on screen around about now, where we got an email from the board offering to up our transfer budget from, I believe it was 30 odd million to something like 170 million. And I was very pleased with that, needless to say. So we had like £170 million transfer budget, and I decided I was going to spend as much of that as possible before they changed their mind and took it all away from me, because we were plummeting in the red again. We'll get to the transfers very soon. If we just quickly have a look at the debts and loans, we're 47 million pounds transfer debt, and our net debt is down to 500 million. So it's all going in the right direction. It's all looking a lot more positive than it originally was. Just that is obviously a worry for now, but anyone that's played FM will know that if you're in the Champions League, when you get to the end of the season, you get all the Champions League money come in, you'll get the TV money come in for whatever league you're playing in, and the Liga gets a good amount of TV money as well, and it all starts to look really rather good again. If we now go to the transfer section, we've had a couple of offers here that we've rejected for loans and whatever else, but we have bought 2 new players. Lois Openda has come in from RB Leipzig for 73 million, and Antonio Silva's coming from Benfica for 86 million. Basically, I looked at it and said we need a centre-back, because we never replaced Araujo, or whoever it was that left. Was it Araujo? Yeah, Ronald Araujo, who left for Liverpool for 80 million. We haven't replaced that. So we bought in Antonio Silva for 86 million pounds, and it is a straight 86 million as well. He had a release clause. We just matched it. We bought him in. 21-year-old Portuguese international, 4-star country with 5-star potential. His physicals are incredible. 16 for agility, 16 for natural fitness, 17 for stamina. He's also got 15 for pace, jumping, reach and balance, 13 acceleration. He is just really good. Composure 16, decision 16, positioning 16, marking 16, tackling 16. He is a great centre-back, and He's been pretty decent for a number of years in game. He's now got a valuation, by the way, of up to £166 million. Not that I plan on selling him anytime soon. He looks really good. He came in January. He made 3 league appearances, scored a goal, 7.53. He's also played in our 2 Champions League games at 6.90. Altogether, I'm very happy with him. Then we have Lois Openda that's coming from RB Leipzig, like I said, for 73 million. He is an out-and-out striker, valuation of up to 150 million. He's not going to get any better than what he is. A 24-year-old Belgian international, can play left and right as well as up front. So we have options there with him as well. His pace is 17, his acceleration is 17, agility 16, his finishing is 16, dribbling 15, his penalty taking is 16, he can take a penalty. Passing could do with some improvement. Off the ball is 16 as well. I don't think passing is really that important to him, to be fair. I know it is a highlighted one for being an advanced forward, but basically get the ball to him, score is what we want him to do. He's made 2 league appearances, scored 2 goals at 7.40. He's also played in our 2 Champions League games, scored a goal at 7.15. He's played for a few clubs, started off at Club Brugge, went to Vitesse on loan for a couple of seasons, back to Club Brugge before £13 million move to RC Lens, 21 goals in 38 games. Then he moved to RB Leipzig, which is where I believe he is in real life. 33.5 million they picked him up from RC Lens for. 15 goals in 29 games, 6 goals in 16 games, over a 7 average rating in both, getting some assists as well. And then he's come to us for £73 million. Absolutely delighted by that. If we then go back to the transfers, in terms of the transfers out, you knew about Bruges and Longley. I don't think you knew about Eric Garcia because that came in after our transfer window closed. We had an offer from Newcastle for 22 million rising to 30 million for Eric Garcia. We accepted the offer, he left. We then had a few players go out on loan as well. Also, we had an offer for, now I've got to try and find the chap, because we sold somebody else for 9 million and it's not appearing anywhere on my sales chart. So here he is. So Lucas Roman was in my Barcelona B team. We then sold him to Juventus for 9 million. But for some reason, and I don't know, but let me know in the comments if you know the answer to this, by the way. But for some reason, I have no idea why he's not in here. I've tried to find Barcelona B on here to see if maybe, is it in that one in youth? No, it's not in youth. I just don't know where it is. I mean, you would have thought it'd be in all transfers. But yeah, no idea where Lucas Roman is, but he was another one that went out for £9 million. Anyway, young player weren't really going to amount to much for us, so thought might as well make some money off of it. Right, let's get over to the competition screen. And we won the Spanish Super Cup. We won the UEFA Super Cup. We're currently in the 4th round of the Spanish Cup. I can't remember what they call the Spanish Cup. Let me know in the comments because it's bugging me. I could Google it, I know, but we play Malaga of the 2nd division. They're 3rd, I think it is. Yeah, 3rd in the 2nd division. If we beat them, we'll then play Granada, who are 4th in the 2nd division, in the quarterfinals of the Spanish Cup. We're doing a good job of avoiding any of the big teams like Sevilla, Atletico, Real, Girona, Valencia. We're avoiding them for the time being. In the Champions League, as you can see, we just about got through in the automatic position. We are the holders, of course. Finishing 7th, we did lose against Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund in that. We'll go through that in the schedule in a moment. And yeah, just we qualified. That we basically done what we need to do. Now we need to step it up a little bit and be better against the bigger teams in the knockout stages. We're waiting for the knockout playoff round to take place before we find out who we've got in the round of 16. And in the league, we are 2nd. We're 5 points behind Real Madrid. If we actually look at the league and look at the stages, Real Madrid are going for an invincible season. We've lost 1, drawn 2. Like I say, 5 points behind them, but we do have 2 games in hand. So if we win both our games in hand, we would go top of the league. Atletico Madrid are keeping up with us. They're 2 behind us, 7 behind Real Madrid. And they've got a game in hand over Real Madrid as well, so they could close that gap to 4. After that, you're starting to fall a bit further behind. Real San Sebastian are doing a semi-decent job, but after that, Girona, Valencia onwards, they're nowhere near getting in the top 4, let alone winning the league. Right, let's move over to the schedule screen and we'll have a look at what the results have been like in the first half and a bit of the season. Okay, here we are then on the schedule screen. So you knew about the start of the season. I think we finished at Gijon, I think was where we finished. We beat Las Palmas anyway by 4-1. Vitor Roque getting a couple of goals in there. This guy pretty much only scores penalties, by the way. He is insane. Then we played Alaves and a 7-1 win in the league against Alaves. Vitor Roque with a hat-trick, one of those being the penalties. Christensen, Fati and Guisa, Fermin all getting on the score sheet. Then we played our first Champions League game against PAOK. Yep, I presume it is. Beat them 2-0. Carboni and Fati with the goals in that game. And a very much rotated team for that game as well. Then we played Sevilla and won 3-1. Vitor Roque with 2 penalties in that game. Then Getafe were the next team up at home in the league. We beat them 3-0. Pablo Torre, Sergio Roberto and Ansu Fati with the goals. Again, a very much rotated team for that game. Then came Girona away from home. This was the first time we dropped points in the league. A 1-1 draw against them. Feyenoord were next up in the Champions League. What a game this was. We went 4-0 up. Vitor Roque with another penalty. But Rafinha with a goal on 8 minutes. Then Pedersen with an own goal on 22. Vitor Roque with his penalty on 28. Gavi with a goal right on half-time on 45 minutes. We got to the hour mark, 4-0 up, and I'm sitting here thinking, this is comfortable. We've won this game. But then one goal in the 63rd minute, another goal in the 67th minute, and then they scored a third goal in the 90th minute. And that was 4-3, and I don't mind admitting I was getting a bit squeaky bum time at that point. But we won it, and we went on to play Mallorca next and won 3-0 in that one. Atletico Pamplona were up next, a 3-0 win away from home there. Then we played Bayern Munich and a 2-1 defeat to Bayern Munich. Matthijs de Ligt and a Koundé own goal. Obviously, de Ligt no longer there. He's now at Manchester United in real life, and that will be reflected in FM25. Almeria were up next, a 3-1 win against them at home and a 2-1 win away against Espanyol. Vitor Roque over penalty. I'm just going to point out their penalty goals, by the way. Atletico Madrid were then next. They're the only team that's beat us in the league this season. A João Felix goal, making it 1-0. Obviously, he's a very good player in FM, I have to say. People might not like him quite so much in real life, but yeah, in FM he's a really good player. He played for us last season and done really well. Scored against us this time though. Then we played Sporting in the Champions League, a 2-1 win in that game. Bilbao were up next in the league, a 2-0 win in that one. Pedri and Ansu Fati. Valencia away was a 2-1 win. Inter were up next in the Champions League, a 2-0 win in that game with another Vitor Roque penalty. And that was also the last game we played at our temporary stadium, if you will, because the next game against Cadiz was a home game at the new Camp Nou, which has a 99,000 capacity. And for the first game back there, to be 21,000 short, I was quite disappointed by that. I thought that was pretty poor of our supporters that we had 21,000 empty seats on our first game back at the newly refurbished Camp Nou. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to put a screenshot on screen round about now as well, where I think my game has bugged out because it's saying in there about moving into the Camp Nou in 2026. But as you can see, it's 2025. And in fact, when I got the email, it's the 1st of December, 2024. So that was a bit odd reading that. Don't really know what happened there. But then we played Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, a 2-1 defeat away from home there. Villarreal were next up in the league away from home, a 2-0 win in that game. Real Madrid were the next team to play at the Camp Nou, 98,719, a 2-2 draw in that one, Carboni getting on the score sheet. Vallecano were up next in the league, a 3-0 win at home. Then we had Real Madrid in the Super Cup semi-final, a 3-2 win in extra time. We revenged our extra time defeat against them last season. Then in the Super Cup final, we played Valencia with a 2-1 win in that game. We did actually go 1-0 down. Then we had Levante away from home in the league, a 1-0 win. Lois Openda getting on the score sheet for us. Then the Mancha in the Spanish Cup third round, a very much rotated team for that game. And we won 2-0. It is what it is. Galatasaray were up next, a much more first choice looking team, with the exception of Romeo playing. Anguissa had an injury. But yeah, we beat Galatasaray 2-1. Then Gijon, whatever they're called, are up next, away from home in the league. A 1-0 win, Carboni getting on the score sheet. And our most recent game in the Champions League against Salzburg, a 3-1 win in that game with Openda, Pedri and Rafina getting on the score sheet. Gavi has been sent off. So I hope we have a kind tie in the round of 16 because he's going to miss the first leg. The next games coming up for us, we've got Las Palmas in the league, Malaga in the Spanish Cup 4th round, then Alaves, Sevilla, Getafe and Girona. And we're in a very decent position. Like I say, if we look at the competition screen, second in the league, games in hand that could take us top, round of 16 of the Champions League, 4th round of the Spanish Cup with the 2 Super Cups already in the bag. We could win a quintuple. Is that what they call it when you win 5 trophies? We could do that this season. If we have a look at the youth intake preview, it's an average intake. Fullbacks and strikers are what they're predicting we are going to do well at. So we'll see what happens in part 3 for the youth intake. In terms of dynamics, team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is excellent and going up. Managerial support is very good and going up as well. Everything's going really rather well. And we will now move over to part 3 to see, can we win all 5 competitions? How have we not won the league? 99 points and we finished second. Real Madrid with 106 points winning the league. They've gone invincible. They've not won a game all season. In actual fact, they've only dropped points in 4 games. One of those was a 2-2 draw away from home against us. Also away from home was a 2-2 draw against Sevilla. Also away from home was a 1-1 draw against Las Palmas. And then a 0-0 draw at home against Mallorca. They've literally been invincible. They really have. 107 goals scored. They've scored the most goals in the league. 20 goals conceded. They've got the best defensive record in the league. 87 goal difference. Best goal difference in the league. The points are obviously the best in the league. But we've had a phenomenal season. 3 draws, 3 defeats. Their draws have come at home against Atletico and Real Madrid, and then away from home against Girona. And our 3 defeats, again, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in that all away from home, and Athletic Bilbao away from home as well. The frustrating thing about the Real Madrid game is if we have a look at the schedule and go down to here, Real Madrid away from home, we had an opportunity. If you remember last season, we were unbeaten right up until we played Real Madrid right towards the end of the season. And we had the opportunity to go unbeaten, and they beat us in order to end our unbeaten run. If we actually have a look at it, where is it? Real Madrid, there you go. It was at home and they beat us 2-0. This season, we went to their ground and they've still beaten us 2-0. It was our opportunity to make sure they didn't get that unbeaten record that they did get. But anyway, let's go to the competitions page, because as well as the fact that Real Madrid have somehow managed to beat us to the La Liga title, they've also beaten us in the Champions League final as well. Runners up in the Champions League, losing out to Real Madrid. I just hate Real Madrid at this point. I really do. And if we look at the schedule, you were with us in February. I think we might need to go to transfer screen. Oh no, I've already done the transfers. You already know about Lois Openda for 73 million and Antonio Silva for 86 million. So yeah, let's just get on with the schedule screen. And it was the start of February was when you was with us. We played Las Palmas and beat them 4-0. We then played Malaga in a 2-1 win in the Spanish Cup 4th round. We went 2 weeks without a league game because we were just playing Spanish Cup. It was a 2-1 win away from home against Malaga, a 1-0 win at home against Granada. These are all second division teams that we were playing at this point and playing our reserve team for it, or a B team, I suppose I should say. Then we had Valencia in the semi-final first leg. We won the home leg of that 5-0. 2 goals from Carboni, a penalty from Pablo Tor, Rafina and Openda getting on the score sheet there. Then we had Sevilla in the league, so we're back to our full strength 11 now, and a 2-1 win in that game. Then a 4-1 win against Getafe. Valencia, semi-final second leg, we lost that away from home 2-0. Then we had Salzburg in the Champions League round of 16. The first leg away from home, we won 1-0. We then beat Atletico Pamplona, and that was 5-0. Then the second leg against Salzburg, we drew 1-1. Not a convincing result in that, 2-1 on aggregate. Almeria were up next in the league. We won that 1-0. Again, not particularly convincing. Atletico Madrid, we drew 0-0. Alaves were up next with a 2-0 win. Athletic Bilbao were up next and we lost 3-0. Then we had Tottenham in the quarterfinal first leg of the Champions League. Won that in a phenomenal game that finished 5-3 with Lois Openda getting 4 goals in that game. Then we had Valencia in the league, a 3-0 win in that game. Tottenham in the quarterfinal second leg, we lost that away from home 1-0 but went through 5-4 on aggregate. Then we had Real Madrid in the Spanish Cup final. We actually managed to get a win against them in that game, a 1-0 win. We did have a full strength team out for that game. The reserves were back on the bench. Then we had Mallorca in a 4-1 win in the league and Cadiz in a 3-1 win in the league. Bayern Munich were then our next opponents in the Champions League, a 1-0 win at home in the first leg. I wasn't sure that was going to be enough, to be quite honest. Then we had Espanyol in the league, won that 1-0. The second leg against Bayern Munich, we then won that one, 2-1. Then Villarreal up next in the league, a 3-0 win. A 2-1 win against Real San Sebastian. Then came the game against Real Madrid. And at this point, we were still in with a chance of winning the league. We had a game in hand here against Girona. Then we had the last game of the season against Real San Sebastian. And if we beat Real Madrid, we could potentially still go on to win the league. The fact they beat us there meant that they won the league at our ground, a trophy lift for Real Madrid at our own ground. That hurts even more. And yeah, the fact that they've gone unbeaten, only dropped points in 4 games all season in the league anyway, and the fact that we actually managed to take it that close to the end of the season is a little bit of a positive we can take from it. Then we played Girona, beat them 3-0, and Real San Sebastian on the last game or league game of the season, we won 2-0. Then we come up against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, and we lost that 1-0. And like I said, I just hate Real Madrid. The draw has been made for the Club World Championship. We're in Group C. We've got ES Tunis of Tunisia. We've then got Benfica of Portugal and Monterrey of Mexico in our group. It's said that it's an easy group. I presume we're playing in America because we've got the FedEx Field and the AT&T Stadium are the grounds that we're actually playing at in that group stage. After the group stage is what you've then got the second round, which is basically a round of 16. Then you've got the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. What I'll do is when we do part 1 of next week's video, I will show you how we've done in the Club World Championship as well. I'm not overly fussed about it, but it'd be nice to win the trophy. Now, when it got confirmed that we hadn't won the league, I actually thought we were going to get sacked because the board sent me about 3 emails to tell me how very unhappy they are that we failed the objective of winning the league. And it says they're failed. They're very unhappy about that, and they're also they're concerned about the Champions League defeat against Real Madrid. But yeah, 3 emails say they were very unhappy about that. I also had about 10 members of the squad all come and see me to say that they're not happy we've not won the league and they want to know what I'm going to do about it. And I really wanted to say to them, well, rather than blaming me, look at yourselves. You're the ones that are out there playing football. If you'd actually won more games and beat Real Madrid in that game, we actually would have won the league. So it's on you as much as it's on me. But I weren't going to upset them, so I just promised them we'll win it next season. So next season, in theory, could actually be our last season of this save, because if we don't win the league, I think we actually will get sacked. If we actually have a look at the hierarchy, no one actually opposes me. It is split in terms of who supports me and who has no real opinion of me. But at least I do have Sergio Roberto on my side, one of their team leaders, although he is about to leave the club at the end of this month. So, yeah, got some work to do with the players. Right, what I think we'll do now... Oh, transfer budgets. This is going to be fun for part 1, by the way, because we've been given a transfer budget. We've got £122.6 million to spend. It originally was 123 million, but then we paid out £500,000 for one of the players because he's played so many games or whatever. And we also have £450,000 to spend in the wage budget as well. So we are going to have a fun time. I probably am going to have to let Mark ter Stegen go because he's unhappy. He wanted a new contract. Now, this is what I don't understand, because before the budgets were made, we had £250,000 available in the wage budget, right? And then Mark ter Stegen wanted a new contract. I said, okay, fine, fair enough, we'll give you a new contract. He's currently, I think it's £135,000 a week. Yeah, £135,000 a week. He wanted to be paid £275,000. I was actually prepared to pay him it. I just thought, do you know what, let's just get it paid. Even though he is 33 years old, but that's actually a good age for a goalkeeper. And the board, everything he wanted was all in red. So I went to reduce the weekly wage, and it dropped it from 275,000 to 150,000. And straight away I knew his agent weren't going to accept that. And it didn't. The appearance fee was also locked in as well. We couldn't offer him what he wanted for that, so we had to reduce that, and that's quite a big drop as well. So 3 times we've actually tried getting him a new contract. In the end, he's come to me, he wants to leave the club. He's requested to be transfer listed. I've accepted it. We've set his value at 72 million. I'm prepared to gamble on the fact that no one's going to come in for him, and then gamble on the fact that we're actually going to win La Liga next season. So there's going to be a lot of gambling going on. Hector Fort, I've been really impressed with. I think he's had a really good season in the league. 6.92, 33 starts, 2 goals and 4 assists in the league. I think he's had a very decent season, considering it's his first season as a starter for us. Potentially, I might still keep him as our first choice right back. Serginho Dest, by the way, I think he's out injured at the moment. I've got a filter on for some reason for the B team. But yeah, Serginho Dest, wherever he's gone, here he is. He's out injured for a couple of months. He's actually not been too bad for us. I've been pretty pleased. He's played 4 games in the Champions League, 7.10. He's made 5 appearances in the league, 7.28. Sorry, that's the Spanish Cup. He's had 14 appearances in the league at 6.95. He's actually been pretty okay, actually, and I think he could potentially still be a backup option next season. But that's all for next week's video. Let's get into the end of season review now. Okay, here we are for the end of season review, and we have got 3 little trophies on here. We've got the UEFA Super Cup, we've got the Spanish Super Cup, and the Spanish Cup. So even though we've not won the league and we've not won the Champions League, we have still got 3 trophies on the board. Maybe they have helped me keep my job, even though I don't think the board really care about the Super Cups, and neither do I. Right, the new arrivals. Lois Openda has got signing of the season. £73 million, 30 appearances, 28 goals, 3 assists at 7.33. He's been fantastic. I've loved him. If we actually have a look at him, though, to be fair, if we look at the amount of penalties he's had, 8 of his goals have been from the penalty spot. He's had 30 in all competitions with 4 assists. But 8 of those 30 goals have been from the penalty spot. So that takes it down a little bit, but still a really good return on our investment. Antonio Silva, £86 million from Benfica. 33 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist at 7.08. Valentin Carboni, a wonder kid signing, £20 million from Inter Milan. And yeah, 26 appearances, 12 goals, 2 assists at 6.99. I think he's had a very decent season as well. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa, otherwise known as Anguissa, from Napoli for £65 million. 48 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists at 6.98. I've been very happy with him. He's a 29-year-old world-class midfielder. And Frederick Urnses, and a bit like I've got a tractor there. Benfica again, 25. I mean, we've given them like £111 million this season. £25 million from Benfica. 46 sub-appearances, 14 starts, 1 goal, 8 assists at 6.92. He's been exactly what we wanted. He's been an awesome backup option. Very pleased with that. In terms of the transfers out, won't go through every single one of them. We'll pick up the headline ones. Frenkie de Jong has gone to PSG for £78 million. He's got 8 goals, 8 assists. He's had a very good season, as I would imagine he would do. Marco Alonso is getting regular football in Saudi Arabia, as is Ilkay Gundogan, with 3 goals and 7 assists for him. Who else we got along here? Clement Lenglet, he's getting regular football at Porto. Ronald Araujo at Liverpool, 50 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists at 6.95. He's doing pretty well for himself too. And Eric Garcia has gone to Newcastle, 30 million, and he's, as you'd expect, a backup player for them, doing okay. Right, season's results. So in the league, second. So disappointed. So I still can't believe 99 points has not been enough to win a league. I mean, let me know in the comments if you've ever had 99 points or more and not won a league, because I just cannot believe that. Yeah, C-. The board are disappointed that the team only qualified for the UEFA Champions League through the participation in the first division this season. The underachievement is compounded by the fact that we looked like title challengers earlier in the campaign. I mean, to be fair, we were title challengers right up until Real Madrid beat us towards the end of the season. The Club World Championship, we're not actually in that yet. We start that soon. The UEFA Champions League, we did lose some games in the Champions League. We lost to Bayern Munich in the group stage. We lost to Dortmund in the group stage. We then did get past Bayern Munich before losing to Real Madrid in the final. So yeah, runners-up in that one. The UEFA Super Cup, we beat AC Milan 3-0 to win that. The Spanish Cup, yeah, it is what it is. Numancia, Malaga, Granada, Valencia, Real Madrid. And then the Spanish Super Cup, Real Madrid we knocked out, and Valencia we beat in the final. Then we move on to moments to remember. 7-1 win against Alaves is the biggest win of the season. 7-1. Match to remember is the 3-0 win against Valencia in the league. And goal of the season was Pedri, who provided a perfect finish to an excellent team move by scoring an accurate finish from 21 metres. And that was in a 3-1 win against Salzburg in the Champions League. Sponsorship has gone down by 4 million. Broadcast revenue has gone up by, well, it's more than doubled. Corporate and hospitality has gone up by about 7 million. Competition prize money has gone up by a few £100,000. And matchday commercial and retail has gone up by about 1.5 million. We're a 5-star worldwide team, as you can see. £53.77 million in total merchandise sales, and 1.5 million in 1.5 million shirts have been sold. Among the big ones there, Gavi, Pedri, Ansu Fati, Openda and Anguissa. Quite happy to see Openda and Anguissa, who I bought in, of course, actually being in that top 5. In terms of how we lined up, again, so close to having an all-green 11, but they've gone with Ter Stegen in goal, Balde left back, Fort right back, Antonio and Koundé in the defence. I would agree with that. Anguissa, Pedri and Gavi in midfield. I would agree with that as well. Rafinha and Yamal out wide with a Openda up top. I would agree with that, because that was what I went with most of the season. Although, shout out to Ansu Fati, who also had a very good season for us as well, playing predominantly on that left-hand side. I've won 2 Manager of the Month awards. In terms of record breakers, Lamine Yamal has broken the record for most assists by a player in the season with 15. Most Player of the Match awards in the season has gone to Gavi for 7, and Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa has broken the record for the worst discipline. I'm not sure I should be saying well done for that, but 11 yellow cards and no red cards. In terms of the club awards, Fans Player of the Season is Gavi. The Young Player of the Season is Gavi. Sign of the Season is Lois Openda. Goal of the Season, as we know, is Pedri. Top goal scorer, Lois Openda for 28 goals. Most assists is Lamine Yamal for 15. Most Player of the Match awards is Gavi for 7. Highest average rating is Gavi with a 7.2. And most passes completed per annum is Pau Kabasi, who's one of their youngsters, with 83 passes per 90 minutes. So that's nice for him to be on there. History in the making, there's our cups. Los Culés experienced a challenging campaign, but were able to finish on a high note as a strong run of form late in the season lifted them up to first in August. But there's a lot of things that just seem bugged in this game right now. It really does. I think FM24 is ready for its end, to be honest. Right, let's have a quick look through some of this. This is our best 11. I mean, don't really mean a great deal at the moment. We have got Openda in there, Lamine Yamal, João Felix is still in there, Frenkie de Jong, Gundogan, Araujo, Cancelo. So yeah, there's still room for us to get our players into that. In terms of the supporter profile, the core has gone down. It's now 19%. But fair weather has gone up, it's now 21%. Corporate has gone up, it's now 5%. That was 4%. And casual has gone up, it's now 28%. And we have 67.1 million followers on social media. Right, then carrying on to look through seasonal performance. Don't worry about that. We'll accept our current vision. How do they want us to do in the competition. So reach the latter stage of the UEFA Champions League, challenge for the first division title. It doesn't say win it, it just says challenge it. So I like that. Squad dynamics is pretty decent. End of season team meeting. We're talking about a league ready to take on that. What's this? I've got the title in my sights. Oh my word. I mean, they've already told me that they want to win the league. Right, we're back down. Can I just get out of here? Yeah, it's the sort of reaction I want. That's all for now. I don't understand these lot. They've all come to me, or 10 to 12 of them have come to me saying that they're unhappy we've not won the league and they want to know what I'm going to do about it. I've promised them we're going to win it. And then when I say I've got the title in my sight, they're all hurt. I don't know how you can get hurt by that. How does me saying, lads, I want us to win the league, mean you sit there and think, oh, he's really hurt my feelings? I don't know. Right, summary, yeah. Leave the meeting. That was an unmitigated disaster. Right, there's the... We'll have a look at the medical centre, actually. Cole Walker is a Barcelona type. No, I'm not. He's an old man. He's 35 years old. What do I want him for? He's not particularly that good now anyway. Right. Right, medical centre. That's where I wanted to go to. The injury history. We had it quite low in November. Then it started to rise for December. January got quite high. Stayed high in February. But then we didn't have anything around here, which was quite nice. And then started going up again before coming back down now. Well, it's the beginning of June, that's why it's come back down. We just had a flurry around here and around here where they all just seemed to come in at the same time. It didn't really affect us in terms of our form, so I can't really blame it. But yeah, it is what it is. So that is pretty much about it. I'm not going to show you transfers because we'll leave that for next week's episode. But yeah, it's been heartbreaking that we've finished second in the league with 9. I still can't get over that. But yeah, it is what it is. Right, join me next week for episode 3, where part 1 will be me spending as much as I can of that £122 million transfer budget. It should be a lot of fun. I'll see you next week. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.